everybody, and welcome to the Morning Jolt, where we give you small tidbits of information, inspiration, and data. It's a tactical podcast about making better decisions. Our goal is to help you make a better decision today. You can listen to this podcast on your way to work or when you're working out, something real quick that gives you great information and inspiration to be a better leader, owner, and executive. This is the third part in our three-part series of my interview with Bubba Page. He's a serial entrepreneur, award-winning business owner, and also a big-time investor in Utah with his new venture, Influence.vc. It's a really exciting service that brings together investors and in a very unique way, also the power of social media influencers. In this final part of the series, we're going to talk about some of the biggest lessons and final things that he's learned in his entrepreneurial journey, and how he can, uh, you know, build a business and how you can also make the best decisions going forward. Let's jump into it.
If you're gone away from your family all the time, every month, every week, that's not healthy. There are many other jobs you can choose. And especially if you're building your own business, build a business around the lifestyle you want. There's lifestyle businesses and there's growth style businesses. And as an entrepreneur, if you're brand new to this world of entrepreneurship, I would suggest starting a lifestyle business first rather than a growth style business. The reason I say this is because typically they're service oriented. So you're providing some kind of a service to someone and you're providing some kind of value added benefit to them. Whereas a tech product is going to be hopefully scalable and fast and built which is great. They're just a lot more complicated to build and to maintain. And your success
Right.
ratio drops significantly when you build a tech product. But when you build a services product, typically you can start off slow and you can
Right.
become profitable really quick.
You can pivot easily. You can do a lot of things. Yep. Tech products, it's hard to pivot when you're 80% of the way built and you realize I don't have a product market fit. I have a problem.
And you've invested all this time and money and energy.
Yeah. And then
you have to
ChatGPT
scrap
comes
it.
out, and because we did this with a couple of companies we worked with, we were killing it. And then all of a sudden ChatGPT came out and made their product useless. And
Yeah.
shoot, no one knew that AI was suddenly going to be in everybody's back pocket and be easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real.
I don't want to discourage technical co-founders and software development. I don't want to discourage you per se, but as a first-time entrepreneur, I think you learn the fundamentals of business stronger when you work on a lifestyle service-based company, because you get to know what true revenue, true expenses, true profit looks like. When you're doing a venture-backed software company, everything's backwards. You get all this money infused into your bank account, if you can actually raise. You get all this money infused in your bank account, and then you're spending, and everybody's telling you spend. So it's like completely backwards to the norm. Now, yes, there are people who are making it work, and I invest in a lot of those companies. And that's part of what I do at Influence.vc. But if you're a first-time entrepreneur, please just try it. Build a services company. Make a real profit. Build a lifestyle around what you want. Do you want that boat? Great. Earn enough money to take care of all of your needs and all of your employees. And if you have extra, get that boat. Nothing wrong with it. And if your dream in this world is to get this Lambo so you can take pictures with it, then you know what? As long as you've taken care of all of your family needs, 6 months to a year's worth of savings, you've taken care of all of your employees and making sure that they're well taken care of, and you still have a bunch left over, then heck, go buy the Lambo and go have fun with it. But I think the service-based company for a first-time entrepreneur is absolutely the best way for the highest likelihood of success.
That's good. I think I love that you said that, and I like what you said earlier around so many people start a business, even a service-based one, and they expect I'm going to be taken care of in 90 days. Right. And having the right mindset of every business takes time to get some revenue behind it. And then the comment you made around so much of online, so much of the Instagram culture, hustle culture is not real. It's there to just be baity and get you engaged with their content. You know what I mean? That's their job and they're doing it.
If they're selling you a course, then they probably are selling you on what you think, what they want you to see. because
That's
they're going to
right.
get you in that course. You know what? I realized I didn't get to finish this whole idea behind when do you know when to quit? Because I
Yes.
think it is a valuable concept of when to know when to quit when you start a company. So let's just touch that a little bit because I've seen too many entrepreneurs. I hate to use that phrase because it's offensive to some,
But it's real.
but it's where you start playing house, meaning you get the business card, you spend all this money on a logo,
On
you buy the
swag.
domain.
Then they buy swag before they have clients. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. When you think about playing business house, you have to be so careful because yeah, do you want to have a cool name? Do you want to have a cool logo? Do you want to have a hat and a t-shirt? Sure. But why don't you go build the business first and generate real revenue first and then take the profits and say, now I'm going to buy a hat. That's cool. But when you go and you do all this stuff, and the reason why I'm saying is you're spending money and time and energy on things that don't really matter. And if you can produce value in a service to somebody that's willing to pay you real money, not tell you they might pay you, but actually somebody getting out their credit card or their check and paying you real dollars, then you have a service people want. And if they do it more than once, then it's really valuable. If they're willing to pay you month 1 and 2 and 3 and 10 and 12, now you've got something that people truly care about. If they pay you once and never come back, you may be in a rough spot, right? Or if they will promise you the money, but they don't actually end up paying,
Yeah.
you don't have what they want.
Yeah.
There's another principle that might be helpful for first-time entrepreneurs, and it's the mosquito bite versus shark bite pain. When you're thinking about the idea, when you're ideating on what is most valuable for these people, I want you to think about how painful is the problem that they have. Because if it's a mosquito bite, they're kind of like, if it's a shark bite, they're going to the ER because their arm is off and they have to go to the ER. They have to have it. That may help you understand what your solution or what your service really is. I mean, he's a horrible example, but I'm just going to say it like, okay, you want to start a new clothing company. That sounds really cool. I want to be the next FUBU. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Me and Damon Johns, right? And I'm not saying you can't, but there's a lot of clothing companies out there.
Yeah.
It's called Red Ocean, right? It's Red Ocean versus Blue Ocean. Red Ocean is because there's so much blood in the water.
So much
Because there's
competition.
so much
Yeah.
competition. That shark bite, it's the customers aren't walking into the ER because their arm's off. You've got competition like crazy. So is that a shark bite pain? Do I need another Henley shirt with somebody else's logo on it? I'm going to say most likely not. Now, will there be new brands that come out? Of
Sure.
course. But I'm just saying in general, I'm going to write a new children's book. You should do it, but maybe do it as a hobby on the side. Because when you write a new children's book now with AI, you can do that over like in 5 minutes. And so are you building the product that people are having a shark bite visceral reaction to that they have to have it? If you are, go for it. If you're building something that people are like, oh, yeah, I like chocolate. So you're making chocolate chip cookies. Like, I like cookies. There's 15 other chocolate chip cookie people in the city, but maybe I buy your cookie. Is that a shark bite pain or is that a mosquito bite pain? I want you to think about what that looks like from a customer. You'll have a higher probability of success if you go after that shark bite pain. If you, like my buddy just started this company, which is a flood restoration mold
Yep.
business. There's a lot of those players out here. And so he
Tons of
started,
them.
I'm kind of like, I hope you're going to be okay. And he says one thing, he says, when somebody has a flood, they have to call someone because that's a shark bite pain.
It's
They
true.
have to call someone. And if I can build a reputation, I can compete. And the guy is just a good soul, a good human, and he takes care of his customers better than anybody I've ever seen. So guess what? Within the first 3 months, he had referrals coming out all over the place because he took care of those dang customers, even in a competitive space. But it was a shark bite pain. My kid clogs the toilet. It's all over my house. I'm not walking in crap water. I'm getting
Yeah.
that thing fixed. And I'm calling somebody, and I'm going to call the person who I either hear about, know about, respect. And he's built a business that's now thriving because he took care of his customers better than the others. And it was a shark bite pain. Let me think of another one.
And as you're
Uh,
thinking, I want to highlight something you said though, while you're thinking of it, is you referenced Damon John and getting into FUBU and those clothing. Like I've seen him talk about this at different conferences where he said the reason he started that brand was because he realized the entire demographic was not being serviced by clothes they wanted to wear. And they were being forced to buy brands or different clothes that didn't represent what they felt was their culture. And so he created a brand on what was a shark bite problem. A whole demographic of people were saying, I don't want to wear these other clothes. I want something that connects with my identity. And so he created a brand to solve that problem, and they skyrocketed. It wasn't just another print on a t-shirt or a Henley and say, look, I'm an artist and I want people to wear my art. It was, there's a problem in the market and let me create and solve that problem.
yeah, amen. And I'm an investor in this company called Gab Wireless. They created safe tech for kids. That means like safe phones, specifically in watches for kids. There's already a bajillion phones in the market. Apple already says you can control what you want or don't want on your kids' phones. So at first it's scary because but they built a specific phone that did not have internet, that did not have apps, that did not have the capability to even send picture messages. It was like the bare bones. You could send a text and call mom, and that was it. And for a certain demographic that they started with, that 8-year-old to 14-year-old, they crushed it. My investment is worth probably 20 times what I invested in that. And they're just skyrocketing. Now they've expanded to a bunch of other things now, but they started with a pain point in the market where parents like me with 8 kids, I don't want my kids on social media. I don't want my kids searching the web or watching YouTube all day long. There's too much crap.
Yeah.
And so I wanted a safer phone, even though, yes, an iPhone can log, but they also lose their phones all the time and break them. I don't want to pay $500 for an iPhone. I could pay 100 for this Android. Anyway,
Yeah.
look, entrepreneurship is incredible. I'm a huge proponent of it. I think it's one of the greatest ways for people to build self-reliance. And to me, that's one of my missions in life is to help people to gain self-reliance, because I want you to have an abundant mentality. Once you have taken care of yourself and your family, not just once, you can serve people all day long. But when you are self-reliant, you now have the ability to be so much more abundant with other people. And if you're in debt every month and you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's going to be real hard to support that other family that lives next door that's going through a job loss situation.
True.
And so for you to be able to build a business, become an entrepreneur, to be self-sustainable, you may have an opportunity to help other humans around you. And I think you receive massive blessings for doing it from God. So if you can build a business, I would highly suggest just one, getting out there and starting it. Try it and fail fast. Number 2, if it's your first go, try a services-based company. Try something where you can provide a service in an area of expertise that you have, and then take care of that customer better than anybody else can so that you keep loyalty. And then step 3, I think as long as you're keeping the priorities, and these aren't necessarily order, keep the priorities in order, put your God, put your spouse and your kids and your health in that top echelon. Do everything in your power to make sure you're taking care of those pieces. You'll be a happier person. And even if that doesn't mean you get that limb, you'll still be a happier person. And I can promise you that happiness doesn't just come from money. It doesn't. Too many of my friends have had it and lost it. That is not where it comes from. It comes from knowing who you are at your core and living true to who you are and helping others to live true to who they are. And what Don's doing here on this podcast, I hope what I understand, that he's helping everyone here listening. And I hope what we've talked about today can have a positive impact. And hopefully I can be of help to you. So find me on LinkedIn. There's not too many Bubbas
let
on
me
there.
ask that. I'm going to edit this so I can frame it. Hey, I just want to make sure we caught some of that. There were some really powerful nuggets in what Bubba shared. And I'm going to just briefly share a piece that it's a lesson I've shared on this podcast numerous times. And I will never forget when we were having a client. It was one of our bigger clients. This one we were with InsideSales.com. They were like our big client at the time. You'll remember, like we had more seats with them. We had more cash flow coming in from them than anybody else. And we were not performing particularly well on that account, which happens in a service-based business. And I was, okay, hey, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to email them. The guy's name was Ken Krog was our main guy. So I was like, I'm going to email, I'm going to do this. And Bubba said, no, make the call right now. And that principle has stuck with me for years in every one of my businesses, as well as engagements we're in, is the right time to make the call is right now, always right now. And I've never been able to tell you personally how much that lesson has changed my career, changed my business by just, hey, don't be passive. Don't send an email. Don't text. You can text after you make the call, but call right now.
Yeah.
Act with urgency. And
I
that
love
was
that, man.
amazing. Probably don't even remember when you said it, but it
But
just
the
stuck with. Yeah.
personal touch, man.
Yep.
Business is about these relationships.
Yep.
And
So Bubba,
I can really appreciate that.
Bubba, thank you for being on the Morning Jolt. Thank you for all the things that you shared. How can people learn more and find you and about influence.vc? How can they learn more and do that?
You got it. Okay. So LinkedIn is probably the easiest way for all you business folks. LinkedIn, there's not too many Bubbas on there. So it's Bubba Page, Page. I'd be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. If you want more of the personal flair, then you can find me on Instagram, where I post a lot more with business, but a lot of family as well. So that's just Bubba Page on Instagram. The 10-second one-liner or two-liner of influence.vc. I'm a venture capital syndicate. I invest in tech companies primarily, and I have a group or a network of investors that writes checks alongside my own to help that company grow. And we bring some expertise with helping them scale faster by leveraging social media influencers and what they can do to grow that business. So that's a little bit about me. I'm so glad to be here, Don. I just love you, man. I love you. So
Yeah,
glad
I
we got
love
to
you
see
too,
each
man.
other.
Yeah.
And I hope all you guys keep following Don. He's putting out some great content here, and he's just a good human. So there you go.
Thank you so much, Bubba. Thanks everybody. You found out where to follow him, and I appreciate it, man. It was great. And now I'm going to
Woo.
stop this. Don't go anywhere. And there you have it, our final episode of my interview with award-winning small business owner and serial entrepreneur, Bubba Page. If you want to learn more about his new venture, we're going to put a link in the show notes below, how you can be connected to him and involved. Trying to follow him online. He's very active on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and I would connect to him in both of those social channels. We'll have links below as well. If you are trying to grow your business and you're trying to grow from 1 million to 5 million, this is what we do every single day at Accountability Now. Find us at accountabilitynow.net. We're also very active on social media with Instagram and LinkedIn. So that is at executivecoach.don or Don Markland on LinkedIn or TikTok and other platforms. And please, if you like this and you want more content, like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or all of the major networks. We're also on YouTube. Leave us a testimonial and a review. And if you want more content of how to grow your business, how to be a better business owner, subscribe to this podcast. And as always, this is your Morning Jolt.